Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. Before I start the video, like always, I just want to say thank you guys all for the likes. So you guys can please like the video. Definitely helps push my videos out for the algorithm, and it helps push my videos out to other people that like it just as much as you guys. If you guys have any TA that you guys want me to work on, please please drop your comment in the link. Please drop your ticker symbol in the what is it called on the comments below. I've been doing all the TA for people in these early morning videos just because it makes more sense that I do it during pre-market hours. That way you guys can go into the market expecting kind of sort of what it can do, you know. So that being said, we'll go into the SPY, we'll go into the NASDAQ, we'll go into the dollar, we'll go into the what is it called? Into I think the unemployment news later today that's going to be released at 5:30, so in about a little bit less than an hour. And then also we'll go into crypto and a bunch of other stuff. So to start off, I do like going into the dollar first, just because it kind of gives you a really clear direction of where the market's going. And dollars still keeps coming down, man. I really did not think that the dollar was just going to keep shooting down like this. I thought there was going to be some sort of recovery to the upside, but honestly, the dollar looks like it's gonna keep trailing down, and it looks like it's headed for this big trend here at 103 2.2 at 10. I'm just gonna say 103, like 103 here. It really does look like it's headed there. I thought it was gonna bounce off here, like 104 690. Because it was major support, right? 104 690 650 right here, and then bounce up. It doesn't look like it's going to do that. It actually does look like it's going all the way down, I'd say, to 103.7, which can probably 103.7. Yeah, so maybe a little bit lower here to here. I say this range, so which basically means the market is going to continue going up. And I'm actually surprised that at this point, even with the SPX, right? Even on this 4-hour trigger, I really thought we were gonna do something special here. All we did was just trade sideways, right? We came down, trade sideways. We're eventually just neutral, right? So usually when this happens, there's a really good chance that you push super hard to the upside, right? So all you did really on this 4-hour bear is just trade sideways. And everybody that is in my Patreon, logically, when this happens, is if you have a signal that tells you to sell, right, and all you do is trade sideways, right? So you close this at what, 405, and currently right now you're at 407, right? So you close this. Let me see. Oh no, you close this at 407.5, and your current price is 407.4. So that's realistically, that's not really bearish movement, right? It's really just neutral movement. And when you have big neutral movements here on a perfect entry for a sell trigger, the move tends to be to the upside, right? You are going to be closing a bear trigger here on the 8-hour, which historically has been pretty telling of what can happen, right? So 404 down to 394, so about a 10 move down every single time, right? From these highs of 404 to 390, $15, right? So it's kind of telling of what can happen. But but with the news coming out later today at 5:30, the unemployment, if unemployment comes in lower, which logically it makes sense that it's going to come lower, right? You have all these techs, all these tech companies laying a bunch of people off. You have a lot of banks laying people off. You have real estate laying people off. Logically, unemployment should come in a lot lower for the news at 5:30 or so. So, unfortunately, I have to be bullish on this, right? Just from news, from what the TA is showing, short term, can we see a huge drop down here? We still can, right? I mean, I still think we have a really good chance at dumping all the way down here, but today, it looks bullish, right? Like I really wanted this to come all the way down. I really wanted that 4-hour to really do something, but it doesn't seem like it's really doing anything, right? So as of right now, if I had to pick an actual clear direction based off of TA, just looking at this 4-hour on the sideways movement, it looks like we're going to pop up to like 410 and then go to 412, 415 eventually, right? That's what it looks like right now. So if I had to pick a clear direction, I would probably say that's more than likely where we're going. I mean, you have an easy range here from, let's go right? Your range should be somewhere in the lines of, actually, it should probably be lower than that. I mean, the thing is, you are trending down on this right here, right? So you do have this trend to go by, like right there, right? So you're still on that trend, and you are creating lower lows on the hour, right? Lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, and you can possibly, have this, right? That's kind of what it looks like right now, right? So you can kind of, I don't even know what this chart pattern is, I don't know what this candle pattern is. This is definitely something, if you break lower here, you could probably keep pushing all the way down. But again, I don't think TA matters too much today because of news. The unemployment rate is going to be extremely important to what happens, for the movement. If unemployment actually comes in higher, I think we're going to dump all the way down to 397, roughly here, and then break to the low side, right? So I do think trend will break. If unemployment comes in lower, yeah, man, you're going to break this trend and you're probably headed to like 410, 412, to be honest. So right now, not a real clear range. I think I actually am swaying more bullish than bearish right now, just because we are trading sideways on this 4-hour bear. It just looks like that's what's gonna happen, to be honest. It looks like we're gonna, run to the upside, because logically thinking, the news should come out with lower unemployment, which is essentially bullish for the market, right? And the Nasdaq, same thing. Now you're gonna see that the Nasdaq's gonna respond the same way that the Nasdaq's going to respond the same way that the SPX is. And even on the 8-hour, you don't even have a bear trigger, and you do have it on an SPX 500, right? And usually the Nasdaq is a pretty early indicator of what's going on. And if the Nasdaq isn't showing that 8-hour, it's a good chance that we're going to keep pushing towards the upside, right? At least TA wise. On the 8-hour for the dollar though, so you are starting to see these clear signs of the dollar wanting to push up. On the weekly, you still have a little bit of time before you push up, but I'm telling you, once this closes bullish, then we should really start shorting the market. I mean, every single time you've had a bull trigger on the week, you've moved up exponentially, right? I mean, look at that, right? Look at that move up. Look at that move up. Look at that move up, right? So, I mean, it's just being patient and waiting for the dollar to close that week bullish, which can happen maybe, I don't know, in December, maybe January. I don't know when it's going to happen. It seems like we still have a little bit of time before it closes. But once it closes, you might actually just see this come back, retest this trend, and then push back up to like a 109 something. That's what it looks like it can possibly do. And I know somebody wanted me to talk about like Amazon and Google and tech and stuff or whatever. You don't really need TA for this. I mean, really, it just depends on news, right? Like it really just depends on news. If news comes out today and, the unemployment rate is lower, you're going back up. Amazon's probably going to fill this gap at like 110. Google's probably going to like, not 104, probably higher than 104. Right, so Google, you're already for sure gonna fill that gap, but we already filled more than likely that gap there. But if you actually, there's another gap here at like 111, you're probably going to 111 if unemployment comes in lower. Apple, same thing. Right, Apple, you just closed a bullish day on Apple. Right, last time that happened, you ran from 146 all the way to 153, so like $7. Right, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you can probably go back to 155, 153. It looks like that's what's going to happen with Apple. It's just, everything looks extremely bullish right now, right? And if I had to guess a direction, I'd say we're probably going to move up. Just looking on Apple and based off Apple where it is now, I'd say the market is probably going to move up another 5%, at least for big tech, right? Because when you have Apple closing a bullish day like that, it's definitely telling you what's to come. It just looks bullish, right? As far as TA goes, news looks like it's gonna come out bullish logically from all the people being let go. It makes sense that unemployment rate is gonna come lower, and we're actually gonna keep pushing to the upside, right? Because when unemployment comes in lower, that means that rate hikes can actually start to fizzle out. They start to not be as aggressive from Jerome Powell and the Fed. So also, I mean, we could look at Bitcoin as well. Same thing for Bitcoin. I have been waiting for Bitcoin to close this day, like a daily, what is it called, bear trigger. It hasn't happened yet, and I actually think Bitcoin's gonna push again. I actually think Bitcoin looks pretty steadily like it's gonna go up to, I'd say like $18,000 again. Again, depending on the news today, right? So last time, we pushed up what, 1,100 bucks in 2 days or so, I can roughly expect the same thing. I mean, if we do the same thing, what is it, 11, 12, like here in 2 days, 16 hours like that, like right here, something like this. Yeah, I'll probably, if news comes out with lower unemployment, you'll probably see Bitcoin back at an 18K by the end of this weekend. That's what I think, right? That's what it looks like. You might see Bitcoin push up really hard, maybe jump and wick out to 18.5 and then drop, right? Because we still have that daily trigger to look forward to. So again, Bitcoin on the weekly looks like it's gonna push like a bullish trigger on the daily. You're already at highs up here. The last high that you had was actually up here on November 7th, which is at that 21K. So technically, you could start a downtrend like this. You could have this downtrend start from here, run all the way down like that, right? Have Bitcoin push from here to this, create that trend, and then drop all over again, right? That's what seems like can happen right now, is what I'm thinking. But for right now, everything looks extremely bullish, man. I mean, news coming out, logically, it sounds like it's going to be bullish. The dollar keeps dropping, and it doesn't seem like it wants to stop dropping. And even on this 4-hour bullish trigger, it just continuously drops. So if I had to pick a direction, I'd say news is going to come out bullish, and it's going to keep pushing the market up, which means that XPX and everything else is probably going to keep running. And it looks like tech overall is going to do another like 5% or so. So it's kind of insane. And it seems like we're already pushing, we're at 407.6. So our close price is 407.5. So we're already above the close price of that 4-hour bear. So all this, if I was just doing a regular trade, I'd be loading up on longs right now, because this looks like we're going to push to 410, 412 pretty easily. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.